Today's show was recorded live at The Refinery, Charleston's hub for creative industry. Go to therefinerychs.com to get event, venue, and contact information. Now on with the show. Hey everybody, welcome to the Shrimp City Report. My name's Devin. I'm joined today with my co-host, DJ. How you doing this week?
Doing good, yeah. That's our second podcast this week on a roll,
It is. We've had, great guests, over the summer, and it's been kind of miserable in Charleston, but today,
the weather,
today is fantastic. It's fantastic because we have a guest. We have Lorrie Griggs in. How are you doing, Lorrie?
Good. Thanks for having me on here.
Well, it's good for us, to have you on because you are heading up a festival in Charleston, a music festival that we're super interested in anyway before you came on. And it is the Drifter Fest. It's Burt Griggs Memorial Jam. We'll get to that as we go. But Lorrie, do you want to tell us a little bit about yourself first?
Well, I could go all the way back to, I'm from Winston-Salem, North Carolina.
Good.
Went to Alabama. And started working at CNN straight out of college, working in the control room, doing the live news broadcast. Did that for about 15 years. While I was there, I started a marketing company, Eskimo Advertising. And I did that on the side because I was working crazy days, crazy hours, so I had a lot of time off. And I've had that company for probably 24 years now. And then in 2016, I started Drifter Merch with my then boyfriend, Burt Griggs, and we are a music apparel company.
Okay.
Cool.
In that, it's all music-inspired goods.
Right. So at CNN, you just didn't have enough to do. You just decided to start another business.
This roller coaster of all the jobs and stuff. What did you go to college for?
TV film.
TV film? Okay.
And so I got my TV job out, and it was fun, and I watched the world unfold, and won some awards, and saw some cool things, did some cool things. Went to Republican National Convention. Always went up to New York for elections, and met celebrities and that kind of thing. But, the glam of it all is when you're rolling in it for a show at 5 a.m., you're getting there at 4, or you're working overnights and you're working weekends while everybody else is out doing something fun. It gets kind of old. But so that was what was happening. I was working nights and weekends. So I had a lot of my daytime free. So that's how I started freelancing for another company doing advertising and eventually starting my own.
Yeah. Were you interested in radio and TV when you were in high school growing up?
Just sort of not. I mean, it was more TV film.
Okay.
I just, I loved everything about TV and radio. My dream job was to be an anchor on Entertainment Tonight.
Okay.
When I was little, that's where it all kind of started from. And then when I started at CNN, I was behind the scenes. So it was cool. And then I kind of realized I didn't want to be in front of the camera. And, I worked for Headline News. I worked for CNN. I worked for CNN International. So it was kind of varied and different every day, and you never knew what was going to happen.
Well, that's cool. You were kind of had an idea of what you were doing coming through Alabama. And, the CNN thing is prestigious, honestly,
It sounds glamorous, but just like a lot of people think of, like a movie set, people think is so exciting and great, but you're sitting around doing a lot of production and retakes and that kind of thing. That's why I like the live news aspect. It was like, you mess up, you keep going. You don't start over and re-record 9 times.
Right.
Did the job at CNN and your college career kind of help for the foray into advertising?
Yeah, I mean, it was great because I started out as a media buyer, and I was buying ads and that kind of thing, and then I kind of parlayed into PR. So it did help me with the PR aspect of knowing kind of what media was looking for, what was newsworthy, and that kind of thing when I'm pitching stories and that type of thing.
Okay,
so
yeah.
A little bit, yeah. And that was way before. That was even before social media was around. Then social media came around, and we added social media to the mix.
Well, that's good. That's a certain kind of legwork, and that's a skill as well that probably a lot of the new generation of social media don't understand. That kind of legwork and that kind of interaction with folks.
You're completely right. I mean, nowadays it's like, are you on Instagram if you're young and they're not on Twitter, Facebook, LinkedIn? And I have an intern right now who's in college, and she's like, well, I mean, I'm not really on Facebook. And I'm like, okay, but you're missing out on a whole lot of people that are on Facebook. I'm like, you got to be on all of them. But, these days, a lot of people are influencers. So they get their big following on one channel, and that's their channel.
So how long has the Eskimo advertisement been going for then?
Since 2002. So
wow,
it'll be 25 years next year.
Oh, wow.
Wait,
okay.
Is that right?
Yeah.
And the funny thing is, I've been really, ever since we started Drifter Merch, I've kind of cut down my advertising and started doing more of the merch business because it's honestly more fun.
Oh, is it? We'll get to the merch business in a second. As far as your advertising business, so when you started with Eskimo, was there a certain component of the industries that you went after, or were you pretty much taking on, all comers as far as PR? Was there something in your comfort zone that you preferred?
I always did lifestyle brands, and that's what I like to do. I do a lot of bars, restaurants, events, retail, just because I wanted to promote things that I liked. If I could get behind it, I could promote it a lot better. That's not to say I haven't done an HVAC company, a doggy daycare, like different kinds of things, but that was sort of my wheelhouse.
So, and you have an intern that's helping you out with that.
Oh, yeah.
So that's good. Is it a College of Charleston person?
No, she's at Georgia. It's one of my friend's kids that's at Georgia.
Oh, okay, Georgia. Right on.
Yeah, we can do everything electronic these days. They don't have to come in.
That's still, even though I do a whole lot of remote working myself, it still kind of surprises me sometimes when I hear that so much of anything could be done online,
Oh, yeah. I mean, most of my advertising clients weren't in Charleston. I was kind of doing them all over the country. But back to what you were saying about what industries I was in, how I started, I really was lucky that a lot of my friends owned businesses.
Okay.
And so I really started with my friends' businesses and kind of worked out from there to build a base and have a, reputation and learn, industries and everything to say I actually had clients. And so that was how it kind of worked. And I was fortunate that I was also marketing myself all the time. So like all my friends knew what I did and they would always refer me and that type of thing.
Okay, so you built those relationships. Well, first you started off with relationships, and I assume you've kept a lot of those relationships that keep your business rolling and everything.
Oh, yeah.
Hey, everyone. We really want to encourage you to visit the refinery in Charleston, South Carolina. The refinery is a beautiful mixed-use facility that's home to upscale office space, 2 restaurants, the Limbo Lounge, and an amphitheater that hosts national, regional, and local acts year-round. We cannot recommend it enough. Go to therefinerychs.com to get event and venue information. You can also go to the site to learn how you can even book the spaces you want for your own event. So go check them out, and thanks. Drifter Merch preceded the festival, right? Y'all started that about 10 years ago, is that right?
2016.
Okay, yeah. So you said that lifestyle brands and merch, and I guess the predominantly Drifter Merch is apparel, is that right? So that was kind of a passion project.
It kind of was a fluke, actually.
Tell me about that.
It was never set out to be a business. It was just one day I was cleaning my then boyfriend Bert's T-shirt drawer out because I couldn't close it because he had so many T-shirts and I kept pulling them out. And he was like, "Oh, I made that one for this show," or "That one I designed for my friends for this or that." And I was like, "Oh, these are really cool." And he was like, "Oh, my buddy's a printer. We always make shirts and stuff for shows for our friends."
Oh, like parking lot shows.
Yeah.
I mean, parking lot shirts.
And so,
dead shows.
definitely. Yeah. And so I was like, "Oh my God, you should start a website and we should print these." And the ball started rolling and we started with 3 designs. And like you said, we started in the parking lot. I'm still in the parking lot. It's still fun. And that's kind of what we did. We had 3 designs and, again, hit up all our friends and we're like, "Hey, we got these cool shirts." And we started with our friends buying our shirts. And then, we started going to concerts and selling them in the parking lot. And people were like, "These are really cool." And then we just kept adding designs. And then people would say, "Hey, I've got a business. Do you think you could print some shirts for my business?" And Bert was like, "Yeah, I don't see why not."
Yeah.
So that started our second arm of our business to do custom orders. So we do custom for, on the weekends, and we do events and that type of thing. Like at the refinery here, we vend out here occasionally, and I'll be vending at Drifter Fest. And so that was the kind of idea that, we'd be selling shirts on the weekend at different events around town. We did Party at the Point, the Folly Street festivals. I mean, we've done most everything around town. Ours are more focused on jammy bands and funk bands.
Yep.
So it kind of, we can't do like a farmer's market. People will come and be like, these shirts are so soft, but I don't know what any of this means on them.
Yeah.
Right.
And so that's sort of how it started. And then, the shakedown is so much fun. And now I also put on pre-show events before the concerts, like day parties, like pre-parties for Widespread Panic. I've done them for Goose, Billy Strings, Fish.
That reminds me of when I used to go see the Grateful Dead and all that stuff. The shakedown streets and the vendors
They still exist.
And everything. Yeah, and it was so cool. And I've always been a fan of small run, one of a kind things. Always, and I personally am also a fan of obscure quote T-shirts from something like a Deadline or something, But anyway,
and that's kind of what we do. We do the more simplistic designs, song names, lyrics, that type of thing, and don't do real busy graphics and everything. And that's kind of what people have come to like about it.
Do y'all have like a lot of designers then working for the?
So before Bert passed away, he was our designer. He self-taught himself as to how to design, like learned Photoshop and everything. And every time he learned a new technique on Photoshop, we'd add gradients to our shirts. We do this, and our print shop has a great in-house designer, and he helped him. Like he would teach him things and everything. I mean, he's super busy, and he has continued to do my designs. Like I'll say, hey, I've got this idea. Yeah. And then I have my advertising designer I work with, and I'll give her ideas and she'll come up with shirts for me as well. And then I've designed a few. I'm not the best designer, but I do have ideas. But Bert was the one that really was like a diehard music guy, and he knew all the bands, and he would get past the jam bands, and he would do like Townes Van Zandt. Yeah. And he loved to do Allman Brothers and Government Mule stuff. And that fan base didn't really take to the bootleg T-shirts, as they used to call them.
Really?
Yes. They would always be like, you're stealing from the band. And we're like, we're not stealing from the band.
No, you're not. You're advocating the band. You're celebrating it in a fashion that.
Well, you always go back to the Grateful Dead, and you're like, you have to think of it as the Grateful Dead. They allowed it because it was marketing their brand. Yeah. It's all right.
So you get to do businesses, bands, events, festivals. So to DJ's point about design, if you have something that's going on for, say, an event or festival, I assume people come with their own designs.
Usually they have their own designs. And again, if they don't, I send them to my freelance designer and have them work with her, and she knows how to design for print. So she doesn't use 12 colors in the design, that type of thing that sometimes is hard. We screen print, so you want to have less colors to screen print. I mean, we do direct to film, or you can do multicolors, but we like ink better that stays on a long time, and that's the better quality.
Yeah, and multicolor is going to cost a lot more, for somebody to do,
Oh, yeah.
So you have clients. I'm just looking at the list right now, the resort and the Acme Low Country Kitchen, the sailing school. I see you have Google on here.
Yeah, well, there's a local Google.
In Charleston.
There's a branch here in Charleston. So, yeah, we've done some stuff for Google. And then the great thing about those companies is once you do it for one department, you get referred to the next department.
Oh, cool.
We haven't done anything for them in a while, but that's kind of like Salesforce is another company like that.
Right.
We've been referred to other departments for different shirts and stuff like that. They do like corporate team building shirts and that type of thing.
Yes.
Awesome. So tell us the story about Drifter Fest, how it kind of all got started then.
Okay, my husband passed away. It's been almost 6 years, but this is the 5th annual event we're having. And he passed away unexpectedly, and it was right around the holidays. So a lot of people couldn't come to his funeral. I mean, a lot of people did come to his funeral, but we wanted to have a celebration of life type party. And then my mind started racing. This is what I do. I promote events. I put on events, that kind of thing. And I was like, no, he was a music guy. I want to have music. So our first event was at the Poorhouse, and we had 5 bands play, and it was all local bands that his friends were in. And they all donated their time to play for the event. And we had just a fun, cool night. It was great. And then our buddies over at Home Team Barbecue let us have a Friday night little pre-jam, and which we continue to do, and just kind of made a little weekend out of it. And the Sunday, it was actually Palmetto Park Jam. So it was a 3-day festival the first year too. And the Palmetto Park Jam was just sort of something for our out-of-town guests to do. And all our friends that live here were already going. So it made for fun. And then we moved it over here to the refinery the next year. And it was actually the first event at the refinery because they weren't actually open yet.
Yeah, that was a while ago, wasn't it?
It was. They were still building it out and everything. And we didn't know if we were going to have a stage. We didn't know if we were going to have anything. The stage was built, but the top part was not. We had to bring in tents. We basically had to build out the whole facility. Yeah. And the reason Lindsay, the owner, let us do it is my partner is Rob Lamble from Ear for Music. And he's awesome. And he puts on events all through town. And he knows everything about production.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Festivals, music, anything. And so everything I didn't know about putting on a music event, he knew. So it worked out really well, and we just built it out the first year and sort of rented the refinery. And now that they're open, everything, the refinery's our partner as well in putting on this event, and they're awesome to let us keep coming back.
Yeah, the refinery is our home for recording as well. And even now, you can pretty much rent anything here for event space. You can rent the rail car that we're recording in right now. Limbo's the new bar thing that they've opened, the stage. And also, they built quite a thing, but you are here trailblazing.
Yeah, I wouldn't say that.
Well, that first event, though, you still had Ear for Music was in that first event here at the refinery.
Right.
Pretty much the poorhouse when you just did it between all the friends, bands, and everything.
And Alex and Vanessa were really good friends with Bert, so that owned the poorhouse, and they were definitely on board early.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
They wanted to do something for Bert too, because he meant so much to them.
Right. So, putting on a festival, or frankly, in my eyes, putting on any kind of event or a band or something sounds like so much herding of cats, logistic. Ear for Music, I'm sure, is taking care of all the sound, light, and everything else. But you still have to organize everything from the artist.
Yes, we're having vendors as well. We have to get sponsors that help pay for the whole thing, because it costs a lot to put on an event when you're adding in all the elements of it. And I mean, I think we picked the date this year in February. And then I think the band was booked by May. All the bands were booked by May. And then I think we rolled it out in June to promote it. I mean, and start kind of promoting it and stuff. But, I've kind of got it down to what I need to do. And so does Rob. But it's still, everything keeps popping up. I'm doing stuff now that I thought I was way ahead. And I'm like, oh, it's next week. I got to get this done and that done. And
so what is the band selection process like then? Do y'all have go-tos that you hit up every year? Or?
Well, it's kind of interesting. So it's mainly jam bands, funk bands. We started the first year with this band called Indecision, and y'all may not have
I know
heard
them well.
Them.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're friends of mine, and I wanted to have them play. They only play a couple times a year, and they were big back in the 80s and early 90s, and they opened for a lot of the big jam bands. So they were our first band. And then the next year we had Tishomingo and George Porter play. And Tishomingo, again, is another band that doesn't play that often, but they have a great following and friends of ours too. And I just love them. And then last year we had Carl Denson play, which was really cool.
Wow, that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And he was a fan favorite for sure. So basically I have a list.
Okay.
And then Rob reels me in when I'm like 2 years ago, I was like, can we get Goose? And he's like, we can't afford Goose. I'm like, okay. And then, so we have different lists. I have a list, and he just kind of reels me in on what's affordable, if they're going to be available, that type of thing. And then, when you're booking them, he kind of has to look at a lot of stuff, and it comes down to where they're playing at that time. And if, you're on their, kind of can work the route out to come through Charleston and that type of thing. Like Carl Denson wasn't playing around here last year, and he built a whole Southeast tour around our date, that kind of thing. So I don't know. I don't know what goes into all that, but I have a list, and I always keep it more jam band funk focused because I'm trying to sell my T-shirts at the event.
I'm
trying to draw that crowd.
Like any special attire for the event?
As far as merch and stuff, or you just pretty much slinging your regular stuff at the show?
I'm slinging my regular stuff. I mean, we've always had a festival poster. I always have a festival T-shirt. This year, I'm doing hats, and we'll have shirts and that kind of thing. But that's kind of all it is. It's kind of changed every year, but no, I mean I always have new designs every year, but not specifically towards the festival.
Okay.
Because I mean, like I'm always doing another event. Like the weekend after the festival, I'm doing Widespread Panic in Richmond. The weekend, after that, I've got Goose in Charlotte. The weekend after that, I'm doing Jerry Fest in Columbia. So it's like boom, 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 and
that's amazing that you're getting around that much.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a busy
just
time.
Listening to this, I'm already tired.
I know. I did not vend the whole month of August.
Yeah.
Which was nice.
Yeah.
It was actually nice to have a break.
Yeah, absolutely.
But it's been so hot, and I kind of planned it that way.
Yeah, that was pretty miserable. But I mean, it's in your blood now. You must get antsy
fun.
sometime. And it is, I'm sure it's.
I miss it. Like
cool
when
as
I'm
hell
not there.
hanging out like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like the lot's like a pre-party, like, and then everyone comes by.
Do you get a lot of networking done too with like the lot and stuff like that?
I have always networked at concerts very well. I mean, for my marketing business, like my biggest client for 16 years, I met at a Widespread Panic concert.
Oh, wow.
Everybody's like, how do y'all know each other? I'm like, we met at a concert years ago. And then we started talking marketing when they started franchising and, that kind of thing. But I mean, a little bit. I mean, I meet a lot of vendors. Like, like I said, I do these pre-parties before shows. So we put on, day parties at a brewery or a restaurant bar, and we have bands play and have like 20 to 40 vendors come out and set up and sell their wares. So we work with a lot of vendors, and we're always promoting their business as well. So it's networking in that regard. I mean, I still do meet people who love my merch and say, can you design for my business? Or I have an event coming up I'd like to talk to you about, a quote for t-shirts.
So for this year, the weekend kicks off at Home Team, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so I assume
I guess I should promote the festival with everything going on.
we'll start talking about it and everything that's coming. So, and I just there will be vendors even at the Home Team downtown.
Just here.
Okay, just here.
There's
Okay,
I'll be vending at Home Team, but there's not a lot of space, so they just ask that I'm the only vendor at that event.
Okay, that makes sense. And that Home Team in Charleston, it's downtown Charleston, everybody, and they have several locations around Charleston, but that's really in the heart of the neck and an up and coming part of Charleston. So
yeah, and it's kind of fun because everyone's from out of town stays downtown. So we try to keep most everything close where they can, head over there on Friday, come down here on Saturday, and then Sunday is at Shem Creek. So
yeah, it really is. It's pretty close to each other. So who's playing?
What does the lineup look like?
Yeah. So Friday at Home Team we call it the pre-jam, and we've got Machine Funk, which is a tribute to Widespread Panic, and they have a good following as well. That starts about 6:00, and they're going to play to probably 10, and they're going to do 2 sets. And so that's a free show. And so anybody can stop by there. And then Saturday is the main event. It starts at 6 as well. Doors are at 5. And tickets are only $30. They go up to $40 at the door.
Okay.
Our day of show. And we have Big Something playing as the headliner. And Big Something, if you have not seen them, they're awesome. They are a high energy, improvisational kind of jam funk band, rock, a little EDM in there.
Oh, nice.
And they're just like fun. And people are like, I've never seen them. Like, oh, you're going to like them. And so we're excited to have them. And then Kanika Moore, who is a local artist here, and she's been in a bunch of bands and is well known around here. I think she's playing tonight at the Poorhouse. And her band is the Brown Eyed Boys. So
seen them around.
They're playing. And then we have Just Groove, who is Robert Corbett's one-man band. And he, as well, plays rock, funk, jam. And he is really fun because he starts the show and then he plays in between the bands.
Oh, that's cool. I like that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's kind of a novel thing. So he plays during the band changeover and all the set list because that
kind of keeps the crowd going.
That is a really good idea.
That's funny. That's almost like a comedian set line where you've got the guy like in between warming up.
I like that.
That's a really good idea, actually. Yeah,
it is, especially with all those bands that are up tempo. And well, I mean, it definitely sounds like a good time at a party.
And you want the energy to keep going too.
Yeah. And we'll have food trucks out here, and like I said, vendors. Yeah. And they're just have a bunch of different kinds of wares. I mean, not just T-shirts. We got a jewelry vendor. We have Grateful Fred, who sells the chrome car decals.
Yeah.
We have a tie-dye vendor, Reba's Dance and Dyes, and Homie's Head Vibes selling some hats. We just got a lot of different people coming.
And y'all have some sponsors too as well, right?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
I'm going to sit here and mention a couple, but I can't mention them all because there's so many.
Yeah.
Jack Daniels is our big sponsor.
Ooh.
I think I've heard of them before.
And Groton Getaway, Southern Flavor Magazine. Let me think, who else? You put me on the spot. No, I'm just teasing. We have a lot of them, from Kickin' Chicken to Hibbett's Insurance, Timberline Construction.
Right.
Just a lot of people who are helping, and we could not do it without these sponsors.
Well, that's nice. You have a ton of local sponsors, and also you have a big time brand like Jack Daniels. Another cool thing is you have local musicians, and then you have some touring. I think it's pretty cool. It's really a testament to what you're trying to do to keep the local vibe and whatever was really special to Bert about this area and this music and these people.
And that's really what it's all about is Bert. And, it started out to memorialize him and really help me, his family, his friends grieve. And now it's become a celebration of life every year.
Yeah.
And people don't forget him. Like, initially everyone was, so sad and everything. And then now it's sort of just like, oh, people who didn't know him can kind of get to know him through the festival because his friends are there telling stories and that type of thing. I mean, his parents will sit over at the Whale and they will stay till the end because his mom is just listening to all the stories and cutting up with all his high school friends. And having a ball. And so it's real meaningful. And, if you didn't know him, he was such a sweet guy and he had a lot of charisma and he had a lot of friends and he took care of his friends. And so that's what I always hear from the people who I don't even know,
So what about yourself when the bands finally start rolling? Are you still going to be in manager mode? Or are you going to be able to participate in the party?
I would love to say that I'm going to enjoy the party, which I'm going to try to more this year. I've got people covering the merch tent. I'm trying not to be in the merch tent the whole time because I like to talk to my customers and people and everything and that kind of thing. But yes, I mean, I'm running around the whole time. But yeah, I do have some friends that are one friend came from Colorado last year and she's coming this year. And she stood beside my tent until I came down the front row with them and watch the music. She's like, stop talking to people. Come on down here. You're missing the party.
Yeah, be eyeballing you like that the whole time. That's good incentive to go watch the band.
And then I did go down front and everybody was down there and it was so much fun. That was a great question because I do need to go enjoy it.
So I guess it'll be the Monday morning that you'll be able to take a breath because y'all also have the Sunday event, And
well, the Sunday event's early, and I don't think we even got to that. Who was playing that?
Yeah, who do we have on Sunday?
We have Junko Partner, who's a local band, and they play a lot of cool covers, and they play actually over on Ship Creek a good bit. They will start at 4 and end at 7. So it's an early Sunday fun day. Like my daughter will come out. We usually go to lunch on Shim Creek and then head around and end up at Vickery's. And
so it's at Vickery's, okay.
Last year there was no band playing, and my friends were like, "What do you mean there's nothing going on today?" So I booked the band over there for my out of town guests, but a lot of people will come because they're a favorite as well.
Okay, so you can breathe on Sunday evening.
Yeah,
that might be your party time, right?
I guess. But yeah, no, you said I'll take a break on Monday. And I'm like, no, my daughter has school pictures on Monday. I already saw that on the calendar.
Right on. Okay. Well, you're still a parent. You still have a lot of things going on. I mean, I would, as a civilian, I would say you have like way too much stuff going on.
You're right, but that's how I thrive.
But it's impressive.
That's my thing. Like I like to go, and I mean, even when I'm vending on the weekends on a show, when Monday rolls around at my computer, usually because the rest of the world is still working, so they're not like I don't get to usually take a day off.
Yeah, for sure.
After a 3-day run of working shows and everything.
DJ, do you you have any save rounds or anything
No, just
before we wrap up?
super excited.
I'm glad y'all could come.
Yeah, and we're looking forward to the Drifter Fest ourselves. And of course, it will be at the Refinery. What are the dates again?
It is the weekend after Labor Day. So it is September 5th through the 7th.
Yep.
And you can get tickets and any kind of information at drifterfest.com. And the Refinery, also, you can go to their website for the ticket web.
Right.
Perfect,
You also
yeah.
have a nice Facebook event page as well that I've been to.
That has all the info.
And I personally recommend Drifter merch for if you're into jam bands, dead, anything like that, rock and roll.
Thank you.
Period. So
Yeah.
I think that's pretty cool. But anyway, I think we've wrapped this all up here. We will definitely put in all the links into the show notes so we can get to you and hit you on social media. And for the Shrimp City Report, I'm Devin.
DJ.
And
I'm Lorrie. Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
And Lorrie, thanks for coming by again. I really appreciate it. See you next time. Bye.
Bye.